What's going on with it? White Boy Lockdown Radio. Listen, man, state of Florida, goose egg, zero, nada, parole. I don't even know what that word means. It ain't happening here. It hasn't happened in many years. There's no parole here. Doing the prison shows and whatever, a lot of people from different states come in and say how much time they do or whatever, how different it is. And there's a real corny saying here in Florida. Come to Florida on vacation, get on probation, and leave with a violation. Man, that's a true statement. Everybody says it. I'm sure that's a whole statewide thing. Everybody says it state to state, but it's the truth here. People come down here to Florida, going to all the theme parks down here, South Beach, whatever it is, man, get cased up quick. And the politics in prison are way different here. But one thing about it, take the politics out for just 1 second, man, the type of time, the way that you do time, there's no parole. You're going to do 85% of your time here, every bit of it. It's really 100% because they don't have parole, but they're going to hit you with CRD. And that's basically a probation of your gain time. So 85% of the time, okay, take 3 years, for example, 36 months. You're going to do 30 months in the chain gang. They're going to make you do the 6 months good time that you get. Is going to be probation. You have to pay the state. You don't get out. You get out 6 months earlier because you earn that gain time. That's just what it is. That's the law right there. But how they go over and above the law is you have to pay the probation people. You have to be on probation for 6 months. So the only way to avoid that, CRD, is to max out your time. So instead of getting the 6 months gain time, you go to you catch DRs, go to confinement or something, and they'll take the gain time. So now the same 36 months, a normal person goes in, does their time, they get out in 30, and then they got 6 months probation following that. The way to avoid having to do the probation would be to max your time out, do the whole 36 months. Okay? Only a moron would want to stay in prison longer. But some people don't want to get set up. Some people don't want to set themselves up for failure. So they have to do the probation and then go back on a violation on top of that. So the way that goes down is keep catching DRs and stuff, and it's the less time that you'll have to do on probation. The problem with that is they even get more tricky here in Florida. Some people lose gain time. So instead of doing the 6 month CRD, okay, you might catch a couple DRs, a lot of DRs. Maybe they took 2 months here, 2 months here, but you eventually will max out your good time at some point, and you have space and room to regain your gain time. So now instead of the 6 months, you might do 3 or 4 on probation. Okay, it got real tricky with me. The first time in, I went home late. I didn't max my time out, but I didn't do 85% of the time. I did like 90. It was my fault. So I missed my early date. I went home a little bit after that, but not the maxed out time. That's because I got in trouble and stuff like that. Second time, man, I got in trouble inside too, but they did it real tricky then. They made me do that CRD. They made me do them 6 months on paper. I get caught with knives, fighting, disrespecting staff, everything. Okay, they just threw me in the hole, didn't take my gain time, threw me in there, up my custody, and then I'd get out, get back in trouble. So, man, it was a total lose for me. I was one, I didn't want to max out my time. Only a moron would want to stay in prison longer, but I didn't want to do the probation, man. I never completed probation in my whole life up until this very last time, which I did. And shout out to my PO, man. That lady was probably the most fair lady I ever had. But yeah, man, there is no parole here in the state of Florida. Just wanted to clear that up. There's no, from the outside looking in, from somebody being born and raised in Florida, I think dudes in Cali or dudes in Milwaukee and dudes in Montana, dudes in Phoenix, dudes in wherever it is, I think they got it a little bit easy. I'm not talking about how the prisons are there. I'm talking about how the time is, okay? So, look, take that same example of 3 years, okay? Man, look, if there's parole, if you can get paroled on 3 years, you would only do what, like 11 months? And then you make the parole? Man, that's sweet, okay? Thank God they don't have the parole here in Florida, because it took me 2 times to get my shit together, and if it was parole, I probably would have went to prison like 9 times, all right? And probably in the same amount of time. So, man, if you have parole, take advantage of it. Man, don't come to Florida messing up, man. It's all crazy here. And, man, a lot of people coming now because of all the Rona. Man, stay over there. We're good over here. We're good over here. But, hey, man, there ain't no parole in Florida. If you have it in your state, I'm not saying it's sweet. I'm not saying it's easy. But, man, take advantage of it. Best thing is just watch YouTube videos and don't experience any of it. Then you're really winning. But hey, man, it's White Boy Lockdown Radio. If you got parole, use it, take advantage of it, or better yet, just watch the videos. Until the next one.